to him at length about the first 4 games and our evaluation where we were. And, you know, there's games you'd like to have back, in my opinion. You can't do the 3 things that I think have cost us games, turn the ball over, and then poor decision-making in special teams. And we have to improve our return yardage in the special team game, both in the punt and kickoff return. So we spend, as coaches and players, a lot of time addressing what we can do to help in those areas. And again, we've got a lot of young players out there that really need to, after 4 games, they really need to, you know, they're ready and not ready, decision-making time. So, again, I thought it was a good couple of days spent, looked at tendencies, things that we have to do. And again, I think when your team is looking at 420 yards a game on offense and less than 200 on defense given up, there's always areas that you can improve. But we're doing a lot of things well, too. So you don't spend all the time talking about mistakes. We're doing a lot of good things. And, you know, you can't take the 3 or 4 plays out of a couple of games that we did succeed in and say that's the whole season. But we have to improve those areas if we're going to be successful. And I think the last couple of days, last week when we practiced, and really, it's the first time since I've been coaching that we practice on a Saturday. I always, on the bye week, I always give the kids off, but I thought there was a need to get some work done in specialty areas, and that's what we did.
Coach, is there a possible change in personnel again on the punt return unit?
No. I think it's really, when you go back, it's really just he can catch it. It was just a bad decision. He's a young kid, and he's trying to make a play, and the kid hit a heck of a punt, and he just should have let it go. And it was just, and I, as much as it was his fault, when I showed the tape, I showed how if 2 other guys would have had their blocks, that kid wouldn't have been there to make that tackle. So it's not just one guy involved, and I put it on myself as the head coach that we should have got things done better, and that's the way I address the kids when I talk to them. It's not, we're in this together, coaches and myself and the players, and everybody has to be on the same page. And the right people are out there. 2 young guys made some mistakes in protection, and obviously the young kid made a mistake in fielding the kick. And that's 2 weeks in a row. And as I said, we coached it up, but again, when you have to make a quick decision, nothing beats experience. And they both were sort of new. Josh not being new, but J.J. Wharton new back there. But he's a good catch, a good return guy. So we'll still have him back there.
Hey, Coach, and you brought up the return units is one of the important things to get going. Do you feel like?
Well, the kickoffs, we haven't had a lot of opportunities, really. I mean, I think we're only giving up 11 points a game. So if we get 1 or 2 kick returns, and some of those kicks were sky kicks to the right, and we had a return of about 20-some yards, and we had a holding call on one of our veterans. And then the other one was just one legit return that we've had. The others was a squib kick. So, but we'll get our opportunity. We put the same amount of time and more time in special teams this last week. And I really think we have the right combination of kids out there now. I sort of made some changes from a veteran standpoint and got some of the youth out of there that really wasn't playing up to the speed of the game.
Every year is different, but can you play off the fact that you were 2-2 last year? Can you draw from that experience, how you dug out of it last year?
Nah, last year's another year. I don't think last year. I mean, you look the same as you did last year? Huh? Older, heavier, less hair. I mean, and that's, I know Pat looks that way every time I see him, so I think it's something that, I think everything changes. It's a new year, it's a new team, and I think they got to take their own identity. I really did. You can't force feed stuff, and I do think that we collectively we're getting the right leadership. And that's what I get concerned about if it's not being done. I think we got to coach better in certain areas as coaches, but I think that, understand that it's not what we know, it's what the kids know. And we have some young kids out there. When you look at offense, there's 2 starters, seniors, really. And defensively, I think there's line them, and that's it. All is part-time starters. So we're young in a lot of areas, and I told the coaches that, we got to start limiting. We can't go in with a lot of stuff, and, it may be great on paper, but it's what the kids know that's important. So that was the emphasis last week and this week.
Coach, how you plan to slow down Rakeem Cato from Marshall?
Quarterback?
Yes, sir.
Well, we see him every day in practice. I mean, it's the same kid. But, I think he's done a good job for a freshman, and, I don't know if we slow anybody down. I think we just take coaching and fulfill your responsibilities on defense, and they've done a good job, and, and we're anxious to tee it up and see what they're about. I know we're looking forward to Marshall. It's, we don't really have a rival game, but I guess if you had to pick one, because of the length that UCF has played this team from the MAC and on, it'll probably be that's the team we've played the most. And we've come out with some good games, so we're anxious to tee it up, and we'll find out what 12's about, and they're going to find out what 2's about.
Coach, opening conference play after a bye week, have you done that before in your career? Is that helpful?
You're asking me to think back a lot of years, I'm sure I have. What you don't want to do is the whole purpose of a bye week is to get healthy. That's what the key is. We gave them 3 days off to catch up on their academics, to spend some time, the aches and pains, getting them out of their system, and that's what we did. We went Thursday, Friday, Saturday on ourselves, improving ourselves, and really from Sunday on, we've been triggering Marshall and what we have to do to win the game. And I think after 4 games, I think it's great to have a bye day. It really is, and I like the way the schedule was done. For your non-conference games, now we play all the conference games, and as I told the players, that those are the ones that mean something as far as not necessarily wins and losses, but what happens to us at the end of the year. And again, they have one goal, to win the conference championship, and it starts on Saturday.
So you like that? You're in favor of that 8 straight conference games?
I don't know. I like to play every week. 8 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. I think that's what I'd like to see. But no, I think that we play 8 in a row, and we have some depth with some injuries. You want to stay healthy. That's the big thing. But I thought the bye came at the right time myself, as far as for what we've been going through. And a lot of the freshmen, they've been here since August. Actually, June 20-something didn't have a day off really. So I think it came at the right time for a lot of kids.
You had a few players, including Jeff, get a little beat up at BYU. Are you going in at close to full strength, I guess, after the bye?
Are you asking me about injuries?
Sort of.
I won't comment, but I'm pleased with the way we're practicing, and everybody that I was want to be out there is out there. Does that answer it?
Coach, well, justice we made for the O-line for the fact that Jeff Guthrie got sacked 4 times last game?
Say it again.
Jeff Guthrie got sacked 4 times in the BYU game.
He got sacked 6 times.
6 times.
Yeah.
Well, adjustment we made for the O-line?
Yeah, well, some of them are on Jeff, all right, and we got to be smarter as coaches too, and I think we're putting him in some situations that, that we have to look at and see if he can handle that. But again, I think the big thing is that you always look at the line when you have sack problems, but it goes back to receivers shortening their routes, all right, or long on their routes, and a quarterback that, when you try and get 4 receivers out, somebody's hot, there's a side adjust, and Jeff has to make sure he knows what's going on. And I'm very happy with Jeff, but we got to put him in situations that help him more too. That's what we've been working on, and again, nature of the game on 3rd down. There's only so much you can do. You got to drop back, but we got to flat wall that line of scrimmage better than we have.
Okay, you got behind their defense a couple times. I know you wanted him to score on that, but
I would hope so.
Yeah. How's he playing?
How's what?
How's the guy playing?
How would you think he? I thought he had 3 quarters behind.
He had to slow down for a couple of
weeks. Well, I think he's catching the ball. He's a senior, but I like the young players that we have, and I think we need to see more of them on the field. Only because I think they They have great hand-eye coordination, catching ability, and they go from there. And we'll play with 6 receivers just like we always have, and Guyton's one of them.
Coach, what stands out about Marshall? Seemed to be sort of missed earlier this season.
Well, I think that you can see they've improved on offense as far as they're not trying to do as much as they did last year. I think they're trying to pound the ball a little bit more, and I think the quarterback's making, they're not asking him to do a lot. They're asking him just to play within himself and make some plays. I think defensively, they're a pressure team at times, and I think they're playing their positions very well. I mean, their responsibility very well. So I think that's the difference. I think they're a year older, and I think Coach Holliday's done a good job as far as getting the right people on the field for what he wants to run offensively and defensively.
When the Riders compared, I guess their win against Louisville, they said they took the UCF blueprint to win that game. I don't know, did you see it some of your own team when you watched that film?
I watched the film, but I thought they won the game on defense, all right, and they didn't beat themselves on offense. Is that the blueprint?
I guess so.
Well, you can't say that's true because
Not this season.
the last 2 games. But I think that's usually the blueprint we're looking to establish.
Anything else?
All right, thank you.